Hello and welcome to Ethelbert Club everyone. I'm Lucky Ethel. My hubby Bert is here to offer his invaluable assistance once again. Once again in his own unique style. It's that, or he is washing up all next week as well. Both Bert and I are imaginary friends and we've created Ethelbert Club so our owners can help you with the benefit of their decades of online experience in a fun and informative way. If you have an imaginary friend who would like to say hello, just leave a comment somewhere or other nearby. Bert says, but he isn't quite sure where the comments section is this time because he's lost his glasses due to a little thing that happened between him and our ironing board and our cat. It almost involved an ambulance, but the fireman managed to cut Bert free before the ambulance got here. They even had bandages with them for the claw marks in Bert's head. Let us begin by welcoming you to the fourth part in our First Steps for Affiliate Marketers training, the importance of branding. We are creating this First Steps training series to help newcomers to the world of affiliate marketing and online branding. Here at Ethelbert Club we apply this concept. Unserious, serious, marketing. Teaching you, using humor that you'll never forget, so you'll remember, and want to apply what you learn. Teaching you with humor that you will never forget so you'll be laughing all the way to the bank. We hope this unique approach will keep you learning and keep you wanting to learn even more. Even experts still learn at Ethelbert Club. That's what my hubby Bert says, but I have to tell him, just wash up Bert, and stop blowing bubbles all over the kitchen. Over the coming weeks, our Ethelbert Club First Steps training sessions will take you from your very first steps, right from the very beginning of what it means to be working online, and branding stuff there. We will take you through a series of short, up to 30-minute training steps, created with the purpose of giving newcomers to the online marketing world an overall idea of what affiliate marketing and online branding are all about. You'll also learn who we are here at Ethelbert Club, how we can help you for free and with no obligations from anyone. Just decades of experience to draw upon to help you get your new online business going and staying going and then staying going a bit more, or until you've had enough staying going and have decided to do a bit of staying stopped instead. So far in this series we've told you about the numbers game. How many visitors you need to get and how many people you can expect results from, as used across the advertising industries as a minimum expectation. In the second and third parts of this First Steps training series Bert and I explained the various types of online marketing and how they can help you be as successful as you set your mind to being. As long as you do the work and don't stop too early. All things take time and online marketing is no exception. You will also be able to get quite a good idea of what Bert is all about too, and you may even be able to recommend a good psychiatrist since his last one jumped out of the window. It was just as well he wasn't the first psychiatrist to jump out of that same window after meeting Bert. It gave him a much softer landing and only added a little to the huge crack in the pavement. So welcome to the importance of branding from me, Lucky Ethel, and my hubby Bert, coming to you from here at our home and Ethelbert Club. As I mentioned a moment or two ago, in this training thingy thing we want to tell you about how important branding yourself is if you want to get good online results. Bert, what are you doing with those logs? Do excuse Bert please folks. He's not quite the same since the incident with folding the ironing board and not quite folding the cat, but he is getting over it quicker than the cat. Let's get down to the real nitty-gritty that we need to know about when branding and how it will work for you and your business. The importance of branding. Before we begin to tell you how important branding is, we'd better tell you first just exactly what branding is. Branding, as in a brand, is the common term for showing people who you are and what you're all about. Branding isn't about waffle, It's about getting you and your brand seen by as many people as often as you can let them see it. Branding more or less has three major parts, although this is not all there is to know about branding by any means. It's about three simple words: know, like, and trust. Make sure you always remember those magic words. Know, like, and trust. These words are like diamonds in the right hands. Know, like, and trust. These words sit together and must never be separated. Know, like, and trust. Together they can work miracles for every online marketer. Branding is about knowing. Specifically people knowing about you. All about you, or as much about you as you can get them to see. If no one has ever seen any of your stuff, then having a beautiful website or shop is entirely pointless and an utter waste of your time. People need to know you exist, they need to know you are there. So the first major concept in the art of branding is making sure people know you're there. The next stage in the branding exercise is to get your visitors to like you and your brand. It is extremely important how your visitors perceive you and your brand. You need to place yourself in your visitors' shoes. Not only must visitors see that your sites exist, but they have to know about you and what you do, and also what you stand for as a brand. People tend to do business with people they are familiar with. Branding yourself is a brilliant way of telling your brand story and getting folk familiar with your background and abilities, your company story, and what your company does. However, it's not just a case of being seen and telling your story, especially if you're a funeral director who also works part-time for the mafia. It would be almost impossible to sell a coffin to most people if you also advertised shovels or expert assassination services at a discount with each coffin. Even cheap get-well-soon cards get a miss in most funeral homes or undertakers we know about. Bert says if you're a body snatcher like the people we just mentioned, you might do well selling flowers and big heavy lumps of stone shaped like angels, but what weigh a ton? Bert says it makes him wonder how heavy angels are, and if they sell flowers at the fabled pearly gates to fund the fuel needed for the fires down below. He doesn't think they do because he says he's never met a medium with a message from a stiff with an active email address and a PayPal account for future bookings at a seance near you. Besides, Bert says, most Ouija boards don't have a pay now button. You need to show people that you have a good or useful product or service that will be useful specifically to them. Specifically, especially if you sell I'm dead thank you cards outside your local cemetery or wherever your community sticks its dead people now, and you've got rid of grandma on the cheap and now your shovel has worn out. It's only by telling people you're there, who and what you are, that you'll ever get your visitors' trust. But we never recommend mentioning the coffins and grandma, and specifically especially not the shovel bit, as that might raise a few eyebrows. It all eventually comes down to this. Do people trust your brand? Will people feel comfortable enough with what you offer them to buy from you or from your recommendation? Do they recognize your brand image, whether it's a logo or a pic of you? Do people see it, recognize what it stands for? But above all, do they trust it? Or, in other words, Bert says, would they turn their back on you knowing they are entirely safe from prickly sticks or gunshot wounds? When you think about it, which do you trust more, someone with a rubbish shop website because they are new and just learning the wrong way because they are being trained by the unreliable, or do you trust the Amazon brand, and so are more likely to buy from Amazon associates who simply sell their stuff for Amazon at a pitiful rate of commissions? But, what are you doing with that axe? Oh well, chopping wood helps keep Bert quiet, I suppose. I expect he is trying to be helpful, again. Good branding promotes referrals. People love sharing the brands they like. People wear branded clothes, eat branded food, drink branded coffee. But, People cannot share your brand if they don't ever see it. So advertising your brand is vital if you want success online. Good branding will let your customers know what they can expect from you. Branding that is clear and precise will enable visitors to put your customers at ease because they know who you are and exactly what you do or your company provides in the way of products or service. But, what are you doing with that petrol can? Your brand is a representation of you. You are your brand and your brand is you. Your marketing materials are your brand image customers see first. So what does your brand say about you? Your brand identity can help you focus on the core of your business and ensure that your promotions all follow the same consistent public image. Getting distracted by all the bright shiny objects online can be so easy, so your brand can help you remain true to your core business without distractions or wandering off in different directions unintentionally. But, what are you doing with those matches? Good branding allows your customers to connect with your stuff emotionally. Buying anything is always a kind of emotional experience where you can help your customers feel good about your brand and buying things safely from you. The idea behind branding is that your customers get to know, love and trust you plus your brand. Your brand needs to activate your entire business. When you are clear on your brand and can deliver on the promise of the brand, you will see great results building brand loyalty among your customers. The best ways to brand yourself for maximum effect. Branding yourself and your stuff means getting seen by as many folk as possible on as many platforms as possible. Branding is not about selling socks to scientists. Branding is all about getting ready, and then selling socks to scientists. How we came across traffic exchanges and the hairy bloke from Yonks back who told us about them. Once upon a time a while ago, years back, just before the end of the last ice age, we came across a wannabe future online marketer but who was then a caveman. He had a lovely hairdo. It was rubbish really, but he had a lovely big club, so we fibbed, thus starting the age-old tradition highly regarded among many online marketers. This caveman with the allegedly lovely hairdo and not quite as lovely great big club told us all about what traffic exchanges would be, once cavemen had invented electricity and mortgages and someone to walk the dog. This caveman told us why no one in the future should use them, because no one in the future will ever sell anything in the future at traffic exchanges, because in those future days people only will see ads for a few seconds at a time then move on to the next ad. So the caveman then said that future surfers who surf ads at future traffic exchanges will be in a rush, so they won't buy anything. But they'll see your ads maybe thousands of times every day. Which will be more exposure than the smoke signal ads he was placing trying to sell his cave. I can't recall if it was Bert or me who asked back then, before we'd thought up BC as a clever way of telling time backwards, if that caveman actually knew what the future, not BC anymore, online marketing world would be all about, but both Bert and I looked at each other and shook our heads in disbelief. A future AD online marketer will be on the ball, we said. They'll have invented AD by then, so time should come out forward then like it's jolly well meant to. We said that any future AD online marketer who doesn't understand that getting your AD ads seen by thousands of future people every day will be every brander's dream when it's AD time and not this backward BC time we've been lumbered with at the moment. We didn't dare mention vlogging. There would have been lines of cavemen sitting in caves staring at slabs of stone and wondering what time the internet would get invented. Branding is not selling, we reminded the caveman. It was just as well it was in smoke signal chat so they couldn't hear the giggling from Bert. Branding is about preparing the customer so they know, like and trust you. That's branding in a nutshell. But cavemen never really caught on, did they? How many cave drawings have you seen with a call to action? It just proves that even though online marketing was originally dreamed up yonks ago, it never worked back in those BC days when time went backwards. But who really knows? Maybe cavemen ads went backwards too, and now the dinosaurs have at last got something to watch on their cell phones. But we can see why the confusion arose. Even back in so far back in BC we can't remember how much BC is needed. Traffic exchanges make absolutely brilliant branding tools, and we recommend them as a part of everyone's branding arsenal. But they are often misunderstood even by the owners of the traffic exchanges. They are brilliant branding tools and maybe should be called branding exchanges so everyone understands what amazingly powerful branding tools they are. We brand across many traffic exchanges and our logo, posts and other stuff gets seen thousands of times every day. People at traffic exchanges know about us. They know who we are and what we do. They chat with us and we chat with them. We are a community there. Our favorite traffic exchange is Hungry for Hits, where the owner and admin, Clara Schmidt, is completely on the ball and understands what traffic exchanges are about. Clara tells all her members about the power of branding because Clara knows exactly what branding is all about and how best to help her thousands of members. By using what we in the business call omnipresent branding, we get seen across hundreds of different advertising sites, social media platforms, plus hundreds of traffic exchanges where we test all our ads in the fiercest of advertising environments so we can gauge what really works, and it never costs us a penny. But we never try to sell anything at traffic exchanges. People who see us there join us outside because they know and already trust us. Bringing them out onto the social media platforms they use shows them we are professionals and that we are not just amateurs showing other people's ads at traffic exchanges. Thus our membership and contacts grow. Now, every single time we place a branded ad at one of our Facebook sites, we always make sales. Without fail. That's what always happens when anyone understands branding and how to use it. That's what branding will do for you. Without fail. Branding isn't any kind of trade secret. If you cast your mind back to part 1 of this First Steps training series about the numbers game and how that works, by percentages of visitors to sales, as expected as a bare minimum across the advertising world, you'll begin to see how marketing fits together. If you've not yet seen part 1 in this series, we highly recommend you do if you're new to the online marketing world, as this First Steps series is specifically created for you. Being seen by thousands of visitors every day gives you the chance to get known and trusted by thousands, and ultimately as a minimum you'll drive between 2 and 4% sales or whatever desired results you want. Being seen by thousands of visitors every day gives you the chance to get known and trusted by thousands just through repetition alone, since it's also about raw persuasion through repetition. That's why the US advertising industries spend about $70 billion every year on TV advertising. Think about it. You see their ads again and again, and eventually you become persuaded to trust the brand advertised. Advertising on TV is expensive, and advertisers never waste that amount of cash on something that doesn't work, do they? Let us give you an example of how long branding has really worked and how long the experts have analyzed just what is going on. Way back in 1885, Thomas Smith wrote a guide called Successful Advertising. Here is what he said then and what's still held to be true right now. The first time people look at any given ad, they don't even see it. The second time, they don't notice it. The third time, they are aware that it is there. The fourth time, they have a fleeting sense that they've seen it somewhere before. The fifth time, they actually read the ad. The sixth time, they thumb their nose at it. The seventh time, they start to get a little irritated with it. The 8th time, they start to think, here's that confounded ad again. The 9th time, they start to wonder if they're missing out on something. The 10th time, they ask their friends and neighbors if they've tried it. The 11th time, they wonder how the company is paying for all these ads. The 12th time, they start to think that it must be a good product. The 13th time, they start to feel the product has value. The 14th time, they start to remember wanting a product exactly like this for a long time. The 15th time, they start to yearn for it because they can't afford to buy it. The 16th time, they accept the fact that they will buy it sometime in the future. The 17th time, they make a note to buy the product. The 18th time, they curse their poverty for not allowing them to buy this terrific product. The 19th time, they count their money very carefully. The 20th time prospects see the ad, they buy what is offering. Another expert from General Electric, Herbert E. Krugman, wrote why 3 exposures may be enough. He went on to explain the following. The special qualities of 1, 2 and 3 exposures. I stop at 3 because, as you shall see, there is no such thing as a 4th exposure psychologically, rather 4s, 5s, etc., are repeats of the 3rd exposure effect. Exposure number 1 is a what is it type of response. Anything new or novel, no matter how uninteresting, on 2nd exposure has to elicit some response the first time, if only to discard the object as of no further interest. The 2nd exposure response is what of it? Whether or not the message has personal relevance. By the 3rd exposure the viewer knows he's been through his what is it's and what of it's. And the 3rd, then, becomes the true reminder. The importance of this view is that it positions advertising as powerful only when the viewer is interested in the product or message. Secondly, it positions the viewer as reacting to the commercial very quickly when the proper time comes round. According to Krugman, there are only 3 levels of exposure in psychological, not media, terms: curiosity, recognition and decision. Which of these views has most value is, in a way, irrelevant because it simply means that at least some repetition when branding is vital. Remember, always at the very heartbeat of branding lies those 3 magic words. Know, like and trust. Bert says it's 4 words really, but Bert can't count, can he? He keeps saying he's washed up every time this week, but I have to remind him. Every time is not a number, Bert, so it proves you can't count. Coming up next in this first step training here at Ethelbert Club. How to use professional brands to your advantage, because affiliation with world-leading brands can make your visitors know, like and trust you as much as you might already know, like and trust Amazon or eBay. This can take you into orbit, so pop back for the next step in this series next week when we will tell you all about it. Pop back next week for part 5 of our Ethelbert Club First Steps training for affiliate marketers. We'll be waiting to see you then, but right now I've got to somehow get those matches away from Bert. So that's it for today, everyone. We hope you found this training fun and informative. If you did, get in touch here at Ethelbert Club and add us to your bookmarks. Join our newsletter gang and Facebook group. Keep up to date with everything we do. Here at Ethelbert Club we are here to help you, and remember, Ethelbert Club is the home of unserious, serious marketing, teaching you using humor that you'll never forget, so you'll never forget what you learn. And that is the power of imaginary friends. This is Lucky Ethel and my mate Bert at Ethelbert Club signing off. See you soon, everyone. Bye bye. No, Bert, don't do that. There will be a big bang indoors here at Ethelbert Club if you do that. That's how you brand a horse. Thank you, Bert, I always wanted that much sizzle and soot in my hair. Can somebody please call Bert an ambulance? Bye bye and no, like trust. Bye bye and no, like trust. Bye bye and no, like trust. Bye bye and